It turns out you need more than 48 hours in Paris. So we're back for another vlog in one of the most famous, beautiful cities in the world. And we're doing the things we didn't get the chance to the first time. My name is Emily, and last year I left my job to find myself through travel. Today, I'm in Paris, but tomorrow, who knows? Like and subscribe to come along for this journey. Bonjour! It's another day in Paris. I'm here at the park beside the Louvre again, and I'm gonna go to Musée de l'Orange. This is editing Emily. I totally got the name wrong.
Musée de l'Orangerie.
Musée de l'Orangerie. I'm still learning French, guys, okay? I think it's a small impressionist museum on the other side of the park. I just wanted to check out some of the paintings there and journal. I don't know if you can tell by my face, but I'm feeling quite tired. I don't even know what day it is anymore, but I've been traveling now for almost 3 weeks non-stop, which doesn't sound like a lot of time, but when you're constantly doing new things every single day, it adds up. So I just really wanted a chill day where I could go to the museum, sit down, look at some art, and journal. Also, an alone day. This might actually be crazy busy. Musée de l'Orangerie's history is written right into its name. The L'Orangerie was built in the 1800s to store the citrus trees from the Tuileries garden across from the Louvre. After World War I, the space became a museum for Impressionist and early 20th century paintings, most famously Water Lilies by Claude Monet. Water lilies are the epitome of Impressionist painting, a movement that came out of Paris in the late 1800s, focusing on the movement of light brush strokes, and open composition. After the camera was invented in the 1800s, fine art began to face evolutionary pressures. In a world where a perfect image could be captured by the click of a camera, what would art become? In many ways, we're at a parallel moment in history now, on the brink of a new era where technology is going to change so much all at once. And we're asking ourselves the same questions over again. What will art become in this new era of technology? Without the camera, would Impressionism have been born? If history shows anything, disruption always precedes transformation. It makes me wonder what change we're on the brink of but can't really see yet. I just had the most wonderful day in Musée de l'Orange. Musée de l'Orangerie. I was there for about 4 hours. Oh, now I'm stuck in the middle of the road. Uh-oh. Anyways, I spent a long time with each painting, and I journaled and really reflected on what I want out of the next stage of my life. And I really want travel, creativity. I want to find an online income. There's so many things I want. The difference is that now I'm at a stage of my life where I've cultivated enough courage to try and go after them instead of just thinking that the things that I really want aren't possible. So I wrote a journal entry of all the places that I want to go and all the things that I want to create. And it just feels good to dream. It just feels good to dream, especially after an era, a couple years where the energy was so heavy in the world, and it still is heavy. There's still hardships now. I'm just ready to very much stay focused on the things that I want out of life, still give back to the world. You can cultivate joy and be aware of suffering at the same time. Now it's just really beautiful to realize you can have both. Also, that's an obelisk. So this is one of the main squares in Paris here, but this is an obelisk that was gifted to the King of France by Egypt. Everywhere you walk by, there's just something to see. After the museum, I decided to explore the Champs-Élysées, beginning with a stop to read in Jardin des Champs-Élysées. The Avenue des Champs-Élysées is one of the most famous streets in Paris. It starts in Place de la Concorde, where the obelisk from Egypt is located, and runs all the way to the Arc de Triomphe. The Arc de Triomphe is one of the most famous monuments in Paris, honoring those who lost their lives in the French Revolutionary and Napoleonic Wars. The Champs-Élysées is also known for its cafes, museums, and luxury shops. And on the way home, I stopped to get a few sweets, so stay tuned to see exactly what they are. just went to Cédric Grolet. Cédric Grolet is a famous French pastry chef. That was the most expensive pastry I've ever bought in my life. €17 for one small of his fruit pastries. I know that some people have very strong opinions over whether or not they're okay with that. One of the things that makes them so beautiful is that usually they're accessible in price. Like you can go to your corner patisserie and get a sweet. Cédric Grolet is very innovative with the kinds of pastries that he makes, but it's very expensive. So we're home now, and it came in this little box. It looks like a freaking mango! I've been watching TikTok videos of Cédric Grolet for like a year. One of the things he's famous for is making pastries in the shape of the fruit. That is the flavor of the pastry. I'm excited. Realizes she forgot to get the forks and the plates. Oh, look at it. It's kind of beautiful.
It's like cake.
You gonna try it with me? Wow. It's really good though.
It's like a mango.
Like the taste is really good, but the artistry of the shape is what's really cool. We also got some Ladurée macaron. This one tastes like caramel or something.
That might be it.
It's so soft and chewy. This literally tastes like a blue Fruit Loop.
That's what I was thinking, yeah.
Also, the Eiffel Tower is going in the background, casually. Love it. I think this one might be rose, not raspberry.
That also might be it.
I love it. Last one's pistachio.
I think
That one's really
pistachio's
good.
the best.
Yeah, that one is the best for sure. Good morning. Today is our last day in Paris until we come back next week because we're going to Lyon for the weekend. I'm gonna meet up with some friends from Germany. Even though we were about to leave, there was still more of Paris we wanted to see, so we decided to walk around our neighborhood for one last time. The French Senate meet here? That's so cool. Hi, Senate! We spent most of the morning in Le Jardin de Luxembourg, another formal royal palace and gardens, now used as a public space, museum, and government office for the French Senate.
I think it's a church.
You think it's a church?
Duh.
Looks like they built the university across from the Pantheon, which is kind of cool. Some of Paris's oldest and most famous universities are in this neighborhood, and that's actually where the name comes from. Most of academic life was conducted in Latin, hence the name the Latin Quarter. It's our last morning in Paris for the first time. We come back next week. We've just explored our neighborhood a little bit more because we were closer to the Louvre a lot of the time, but our Airbnb is actually close by here. We made it to the Pantheon! Whoa! So it was originally built as a church. I'm not exactly sure why. I think there was combat here, but also important French people were recognized here. Oh my god. I'm so sorry, France. I have to look this up. Hopefully I'll input more info here. The Pantheon is a monument in the 5th arrondissement of Paris, originally built in the 1700s by the King of France to be a church. But by the time the construction was finished, the French Revolution began, and the revolutionary government decided instead to turn it into a mausoleum, similar to the Pantheon in Rome. The Pantheon is an example of neoclassical architecture, a movement in the West that built off the design principles and culture of classical antiquity, like ancient Rome or Greece. The Pantheon is also famous for the Foucault pendulum. Originally built in the 1800s by physicist Léon Foucault, only a copy is left today. But at the time it was used to demonstrate the rotation of the Earth to Paris, and subsequently the rest of the world. As explained by Smithsonian Magazine, this experiment was important because it meant that the average person could understand universal concepts, such as the rotation of the Earth, without being educated. It was one of the demonstrations that started a cultural shift to fundamentally understand our universe differently.
I don't know, because at Versailles there was some mixed paintings.
It's hard to believe that people built stuff like this. There was so much love and dedication into the things that they created. Now in North America, at least, there's not that same emphasis on like detail and timelessness. Your built environment influences your happiness so much. It's really, really beautiful to see and kind of inspiring too. We just ran back from the Pantheon and now we have to go get our train to Lyon. It's so beautiful. I'm sad to go. Let's go! Man, the trains here are so cool compared to North America.
Nous allons bientôt venir à votre rencontre.
And then we were off to Lyon, the gastronomic capital of France, the birthplace of film and home to an international festival of lights. Lyon doesn't attract tourism in the same way Paris does. It's really a city for the French, so it's the perfect place to get to know French culture and food a little bit better through an insider's perspective. So see you next week in Lyon!